32-year-old Richard Jenkins has risen to our challenge to see if he, a flight sim ace, can land a real plane. He's never flown a real aircraft. In fact, he's never been near a real cockpit. In fact, Richard actually has a slight fear of flying. However, using his PC, he's logged hundreds of hours in the air. So let me just get this straight. You've never even been in a light aircraft, let alone tried to land one?
No, I haven't. I've only ever flown in this room.
Well, that's all going to change now. Marshalling proceedings will be the man who Tom Cruise asked to teach him, Chief Flying Instructor Tony Crease. He's got 10,000 flying hours under his belt and needs to be satisfied Richard knows his way around a plane before he'll let him up in the air.
This is a picture of the cockpit of the aeroplane. In front of you as the captain, you have the instruments. How familiar is that to you, to compare that with your flight simulator?
This is exactly the same layout as...
Exactly the same layout. That's good. If I ask you to roll an aeroplane, which control would you use?
I'd use the ailerons, and I'd move the ailerons to the left.
Very good.
That was it. There was no going back now. We still thought it best if Tony made the pre-flight safety checks, though.
See, there's plenty more. That's fine, continue. A bit more difficult than your simulator, eh?
Definitely.
To stay on the right side of the law, Tony will have to go too. After all, student pilots don't normally tackle landings until at least lesson 14, and we don't want things to get messy. Rich, how you doing, Rich? You okay?
Nervous. Bit of anticipation, but yeah, looking forward to it.
And this is the first time you've ever sat in a genuine aircraft cockpit?
Absolutely. This is the first time I've ever been in a light aircraft.
How does it compare, mate?
It's frighteningly familiar, actually. I mean, even the dashboard and the structure of the aircraft is the same as the simulator, which is fantastic.
Remember, you've got a generation of geek hopes riding on your shoulders, mate.
OK, well, I'll do my best.
I know you will. Good luck to you, my friend.
There she goes.
Tony will take off and set up the landing approach. But from then on, it's Richard who's in control. It's his flight sim skills that we'll put to the ultimate test. A member of the public who's only had a few hours thinking about real flying, the rest of the time he's been bombing around online, shooting his mates. He's now going to be in a genuine aircraft worth £150,000, hurtling towards the ground at around 100 miles an hour. I just hope it works. And Chief Flying Instructor Tony has noticed that conditions for the experiments aren't perfect.
And we've got a tailwind here, so we're going to have to do this pretty smartly.
How do you tell we've got a tailwind? Is that because the plane's moving?
I can see the plane is moving, being blown rapidly across the ground.
He's a dot on the horizon, but I can see him. He's on finals now. This is it. Rich is in control.
You have control. I'm going to let you do this.
I don't know. This is very worrying.
Is the throttle correct, or...?
Yes, you have about 2,000 RPM, so that's looking good, isn't it? Yeah. Well done. Very good.
Is the nose angle correct?
Absolutely. So 2 stages of flap, come 2 clicks, 1 click, 2 clicks. Good. What's happening to the airplane? Is it being drifted right or left? Okay. Well, we can actually position it to stop it drifting.
Is that with the pedals, yeah?
Excellent. Well done. Perfect. See how it's blossoming in front of us, the runway?
Yeah.
Does it do that in your simulator?
It does, actually.
That's how it should. That's how it should do. Okay. Airplane's coming in very nicely. There's the runway. 70 knots. Speed is correct. Looking correct. Looking good. Okay. Right, a little bit of back pressure now. Hold a level. Power right off. Power off. That's it. And now back pressure to let us settle on the main wheels.
Oh, beautiful! Beautiful! Look at him go! Absolutely awesome! Richard had made it, and in one piece, which, if nothing else, saved a lot of paperwork. I couldn't wait to find out exactly what happened. Hi, Tony.
Hi.
Good to see you.
All back safely.
Out to the fresh air.
Oh, yes, it's warm. A warm day today.
And let's just... Is he wobbling?
Wow.
No, he's not wobbling. So, come on then. First words have got to be from Rich. How was it?
Utterly fantastic. So unbelievably good. Fantastic. Totally enjoyed it. But completely different. Not what I expected at all. The differences are just, so great. The movement and the sounds and the senses and everything, just, it does actually throw you quite a lot.
The problem is, I think, that there aren't sufficient pressures in a simulator to simulate this sort of aeroplane, the changing pressures and the inputs. And I think, Richard, you'll probably agree with me on that.
Absolutely. That's when you don't know when you're doing something right or something wrong. It's It's just phenomenal. There's so much going on. You're watching your airspeed, you're checking the field, you've got your rudders, you've got Tony saying no, left a bit, left and right a bit. When you're doing it from the comfort of your own chair, and you're just sitting there, you can hit the pause button and go off and make a cup of coffee.
The question, the most important question is, did he do that landing on his own?
I think Richard could answer that.
No, unfortunately I didn't.
It looked very convincing. At what point did Tony take over?
He took over when it came to the flaring. The ground's coming up at you really quickly, and you're going, is this right? You just don't know whether you're pulling back enough, and then luckily Tony's there to help you out at the last minute.
But Richard was controlling a very well-balanced approach, and he was getting his speeds right, and I think that comes from the simulator. And when we get to the point of the 50 feet, which is the double-decker bus, we call it the flare, where we just increase the back pressure and let the airplane fly level. That was the time he wasn't too sure, and of course everybody's a bit ground shy when they haven't flown an airplane before,
exactly.
let's face it.
Tony's tiny interventions prevented a heavy landing, but Richard's simulator experience certainly helped him get further than any novice. So how lifelike is your simulator?
Oh, it's completely dead compared to the real thing. There's no comparison. Oh, I'm going to sell all my simulation stuff on eBay and just put it into flight lessons.
This week, we're making movies with camcorders. Building a heads-up display for
The HTC Vive allows you to physically move around in a set space. Your cleared-out living room, for example, and has something called Chaperone,